Still in the book of Romans, blessed are those whose lawless deeds are forgiven and whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man to whom the Lord shall not impute sin. At one time, God had chosen the Jews as his people. In Romans chapter 4:8, it says, does this blessedness that God gives us then come upon the circumcised only? The Bible is saying here in Romans chapter 4:9, does this happen to those? Do the people who receive this blessedness from God, aren't they the Jews, the ones that are circumcised? Does this blessedness then come upon the circumcised only, or upon the uncircumcised also, including both, circumcised, uncircumcised, chosen people, adopted children? For we say that faith was accounted to Abraham for righteousness. That's it. We obtain righteousness because we believe the Savior. That is how we get it. We don't get it because we run around and lay hands on folks and give people money and do all these other things and knock on doors. We get it by just believing that Jesus Christ took on the penalty that we should have received, and he justified us. He redeemed us from the curse of the law, because sin is apparent when there is a law. When there is no law, there is no sin. How then was it accounted? While he was circumcised, the Bible is breaking it down, A, B, C. So how did Abraham receive this blessedness? While he was circumcised or uncircumcised? Not while circumcised, but while uncircumcised. And he received the sign of circumcision, a seal of the righteousness of faith, which he might be the father, and he was, and he is, of all those who believe, though they are uncircumcised, that righteousness might be imputed to them also. So it doesn't matter if you're circumcised or you're not. Verse 12 says, and the father of circumcision to those who not only are of the circumcision, but who also walk in the steps of the faith which our father Abraham had while still uncircumcised. Romans 4:13 says, for the promise that he would be the heir of the world, Abraham, was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law. Abraham did not receive this blessing from God because of what he did, but through the righteousness of faith, but through him just believing. For if those who are of the law are heirs, the Israelites, the ones that God calls his children, who he delivered from Pharaoh, for if those who are of the law are heirs, faith is made void and the promise made of no effect, because the law brings about wrath. For where there is no law, there is no transgression. Like I just said, it's the law, but we're not under the law anymore because of what Christ had done. Cursed is everyone that hangs on a tree in Galatians. Christ was put on a tree. He took on all the curses of me and you. Therefore, it is of faith that it might be according to grace, so that the promise might be sure to all the seed, not only to those who are of the law, the Israelites, but also to those who are of faith of Abraham. Anybody who has the faith to believe that Jesus Christ died for their sins, they have now obtained the grace from God, and they are one of his, who is the Father of us all. And Romans chapter 4:17, as it is written, I have made you father, he tells Abraham, of many nations, in the presence of him whom he believed, God, who gives life to the dead. I was dead. and calls those things which do not exist as though they did. I wanted to, hopefully when I put that needle would I would just die. I didn't want to live anymore. But Christ, as it is written, have made you a father of many nations, and the presence of him whom he believed God. Only you know what God brought you through. I can sit here and tell you about my life with addiction and non-addiction, and tell you about my insecurities and my fears and my shortcomings and my character defects, but you can only receive this by your obedience, by you submitting and saying that there's nothing I can do to obtain the grace of God, only by believing that he has grace and that he died for my sins. That is how I obtain favor from the Savior. All this is getting good. I will be returning shortly. Nice tool here. Bless you guys.